obviously, this is a moment where we have to be on the streets all over the country to protest what's happening to our immigrant community, but more broadly to protest what's happening to our democracy. This is the most corrupt administration in the history of the country, and we are going to rise to this moment by being out there on the streets.
Again, as we've talked about many times, two different divisions to communism, always have been, always will be. There are the street communists and the elite communists, and they work together all the time. The elites go on television. We got to be street ready. Got to go out there in these streets. And all the animals and drugged out trainees and foreigners and super freaks we have in this country heed the call, and they all put down their cats and their marijuana, and they run to the streets to go hurt police officers. Joining me now, Mel K, host of the Mel K Show. Mel, it's all so predictable. What is not is the GOP apparently appears ready to hit back.
Well, we hope so. I mean, the real truth is we have to really look at this as the bigger picture, which is why is this happening? We are in a color revolution in America. What is the issue? What is going on? Frankly, I believe that they are trying to protect their global financial system, and would appreciate if Donald Trump would stop trying to reignite the American economy and prosperity so that we walk down the path of technocracy. And these useful idiots, that nothing's new with this. This is the color revolution playbook. They've played out over and over. We've been in one since 2016, and they have to go kinetic now, or they completely lose. And the sad part is what's really being lost is our future, our children, and our sovereignty. And we need to stand up now more than ever, because the truth about post-World War II America is that we have not been sovereign basically since 1913. And the people that are funding this world war right now, which this is part of it, really are nervous that their entire model is falling apart. They need World War III. Why not kick it off in America?
Mel, make that connection for me. People see Mexican flags in LA. You're talking about the global financial system. Take your time. Merge those worlds.
Okay, so what we need to understand is that post-World War II, we were lied to about basically everything, particularly the CIA, what it does, and who it protects. I frankly believe that it protects the global financial system, which includes the NGOs. There was a act passed in 1946 that made the NGOs and all of the UN tentacles and the Rockefeller Brothers, Ford Foundation, all these foundations, sovereign immune foundations, basically. Not only do they not pay taxes, but they are not even subject to the rule of law, investigation, or anything else. Once DOGE started cutting into USAID and looking at the money around the world that funds these color revolutions and these revolutionaries, they had to go into overdrive. And frankly, I believe this was long planned if Trump got back in. They were talking about it back in April, the lawfare crew right on MSNBC saying they were planning for this if Trump won. And here we are. This is Election Integrity Project people. These are the Trump haters, and they are using the useful idiots that they brought into this country to fight a battle to destroy America from within so that they can walk us straight into the Agenda 2030 technocracy that they have sunk trillions of dollars into. At the end of the day, this is another play for a global war to have the bankers recalibrate and go into another phase after another world war of reconstruction that will just loot America of everything we have left and give us the final coup de grace. And that is basically what the open border was about, as far as I'm concerned. This was all about the national sovereignty of the United States, and particularly the Constitution and the Bill of Rights being a problem for the global financial system that is being built around us, and frankly is ready for takeoff as soon as America gives up and surrenders. Order out of chaos is the way they work, and right now they are causing as much chaos as possible so that the American people say, just make it stop, whatever we need to do. Though they launch maybe a global public infrastructure without us even realizing that what they are doing is ending our sovereignty, and that is what this battle is about: sovereignty and trillions of dollars at stake.
Karen Bass is Los Angeles' mayor, of course, and, well, she's been all over the television. Here she was. We need to stop the raids. This should not be happening in our city. It is not warranted, and the only thing it does is contribute to chaos. This was chaos that was started at Washington, D.C.
You have a situation like we did in the last Trump administration where kids were afraid to go to school because they weren't sure their parents would be there, where people were afraid to go to work. And you just think about the disruption in families. You might have a father that's going into a warehouse or a plant. You might have a mother who is serving as a child care worker on the other side of town, either in somebody's home or not. You disrupt the entire ecosystem. You impact our overall economy. If people are afraid to go to work, this is a city of immigrants. If they're afraid to go to work, you are going to hit our economy in a way that is completely unnecessary. This is a problem that started on Friday morning when the raids happened. This did not need to take place.
This week were about an international criminal organization and money laundering connected to the cartel. Second of all, Karen Bass, we used to have a rule in America that communists and socialists could not run for office. It was antithetical to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Thus, they could not take an actual oath of office in America. And yet this woman slid through. She has been a lifelong communist, not to mention she worked for National Endowment for Democracy during color revolutions in Libya and elsewhere. She has always been somebody who has been an agitator inside, and it's not a surprise that she was elected in the fully captured and communist-infused California. But she is a long-term and very experienced color revolutionary, and that is exactly what she's kicking off in L.A. Unfortunately for the people of Los Angeles, she is not going to protect them. Neither is Gavin Newsom, because they're both owned by the international money laundering cartel that runs everything above this country. We have a group of people that will destroy America from within because they are not loyal to this nation. They are only loyal to the financial backers that fund all these NGOs, and she has been a part of that for decades.
Mel, what do you say to people who say this is all just bad for the Democrat Party? This is going to lose them power. Trump looks better. Poll numbers are going through the roof. Democrats look bad. What do you say to those people?
I say this has nothing to do with Donald Trump. This has to do with the United States of America, our sovereignty, our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our future. Donald Trump is there for a few years. The problem in America is the American people. The American people do not know their history. They have been lied to since World War II about everything from the UN to endless wars to the looting of our money through the IRS and the Fed, straight to international organizations that fund every war. Our children cannot go in and fight again for Europe. We fought a war in 1776, and yet twice we've been dragged into Europe. The EU has never changed. They still want to control the world through Brussels. And the United States dismantling ourselves from this international banking situation, the international money laundering, the war, endless wars, is the most dangerous thing in the world for these totalitarians that want to basically create a world government with a global public infrastructure, with the Bank of International Settlements, which is an opaque bank that needs to be looked into. And frankly, we need to get a real history of America out there to the people to realize how much they've been looted and lied to. And this is the last stand. The international banking cartel that runs all the wars and is running this entire operation with their, NGOs that are protected, immune, don't have any aspect of law and order within their rulings. They don't want to lose power. And frankly, this is a small group of elites using these people that they funneled into here. We have many things we can do, but if we let our Constitution be a picture on the wall instead of something we use to fight back, then it's our fault. The people of the United States of America cannot sit by because their lives aren't ruined and they're not in upheaval and we're not having active kinetic war and think that it's going to go away. It has to be the American people locally taking back their governments locally, using the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, or we are not going to have one.
Tell me about this book, Americans Anonymous.
Well, I wrote this book because I believe that our country purposefully is addicted to conflict and chaos by the what I call the international banking cartel, but also the global public-private partnership that treats America like they're the parent company and 350 million of us are just allowed to live here. And the facts are we need to have an intervention in America. We need to get real truth about our history, particularly the CIA, the banking institutions, everything that happened after World War II. We have been looted and lied to. We have funded all these wars, all this regime change, and it is the American people that need to take control back. We are acting as if everything is outside of our control because decades of mind control and manipulation to make us think we have no choice. It is the American people that can save the world from this tyranny that is capturing every ounce of the planet. And we need to really go through it. So I go through the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, which I think is very relevant right now because although we had fought the crown back in the day when we wrote the Declaration of Independence, right now it's an international banking cartel, and the tentacles of the UN, Chatham House, the Council of Foreign Relations, the Rockefeller NGOs, all of these groups are functioning above our government. Our elected officials are captured. Our banking institutions are not working for us. And right now they are also trying to save themselves while destroying the Constitution. The fundamental transformation that Barack Obama promised was the end of national sovereignty because that was always the goal. So if the American people do not know our real history and about the Frankfurt School infiltrating our education system, the Nazis that came through Argentina into all of our institutions, the communists that were taken out of Germany and put into all different places in America, not to mention Operation Paperclip, then they have no idea that we were infiltrated long ago. And JFK tried to warn us, as did Eisenhower, as did McKinley, as did Donald Trump. And frankly, Donald Trump is hated because there are trillions of dollars at stake if America remains America. And America needs to be sovereign. And when it comes to what's happening with technocracy and technology, it is the American people that must say the Constitution and Bill of Rights have to still be front and center, whether you want to join the global public infrastructure or have Palantir track and trace surveillance us. We can't allow a Patriot Act 2.0 technocracy to happen and let the Constitution and Bill of Rights go by the wayside. We have to demand it's first front and center before any of the surveillance tech. Because let's be honest, if somebody gets in there again, you think they're not going to weaponize that against every single one of us that have spoken out against this? They will, and they are already planning it. 2026, if the American people do not mobilize now for the 2026 midterms, they are going to slide right back in there. And before you know it, it'll be worse than it's ever been because that is the goal, the end of national sovereignty of all nation states, most importantly, the United States.
Mel, appreciate you as always. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.